You know, I still remember the first time I learned about money, what it actually was. It frightened me. I thought I knew what money was. I thought I understood the economy. I had no idea that money is actually a figment of your imagination. There is no such thing. And yet, everything you can think of in some way is tied to money, and it doesn't exist. The only reason, and this is a much more fun lesson in class, but to get to the cut to the chase, the only reason when you hand a $20 bill over to someone that they take it is because they know, without even thinking, that they can hand it over and the next person will take it from them. That confidence is the only value money has, which when you learn about the last financial crisis, you will understand why it's a crisis. Because the financial system, the way that it runs, it's all underpinned by this notion that there must be confidence in the monetary unit of your financial system, in your financial system itself, because of course, without the money, there is no financial system, right? And it's based on something that doesn't exist. So just imagine how fragile it is, right? It's so absurd that did you know before you went to borrow money at a bank, say like your parents take out a mortgage, the money didn't exist before they asked for it. And then you spend the rest of your life paying it back. Can you imagine? It's crazy. Well, the thing is, because money doesn't exist, you can't just make as much as you want. Here's an example. Money has to fill three roles. It could be petrified dinosaur dung if the thing you use is money, right? It could be petrified dinosaur dung as long as it fulfills these three requirements, right? One, it's a store of value. In other words, it can store wealth. So if you're paid in, say, food or rent, you can't store that. But your labor you can store if you're paid in something you can keep, like money. Two, it's a medium of exchange. You can denominate all transactions in the quantity of currency you have. So this is 100, and I mean, that also makes it comparable, right? So a unit of account, a way of measuring how much something will be. So if this is 500, that's 5,000, you can tell that's 10 times more valuable than that, right? So it stores money. You can use it as a way of exchange, right? Because before money, if you needed chickens, you had to take your goats and not only find somebody that had chickens, you had to find somebody that had chickens and wanted goats. So barter was not cool. Money is a definite improvement, but as a store of value, because of inflation, it's not perfect. Second, because it's fake, some countries have had the tendency to make as much as they needed. But remember the circular flow? There is a delicate relationship between the level of economic activity that you have in your economy and how much money you need. Too much is not good. Too little is not good. Take this example. Let's say you have $100. Somebody takes their $100 bill and pays me for this product I have. I sell it to that person I sell my one item for $100. I've made $100. I then pass that on and buy something from person number two, right? Who then passes it on and buys something from person number three. What's the money supply? Well, it's $100, right? There's only one $100 bill in the economy. Well, how many times has it changed hands in this very short year, let's say? Well, it went from somebody to me, then from me to someone else, and then from that person to someone else 3 times, right? That's called the velocity of money. This is Fisher's equation. So the money supply times the velocity of money should equal the price, the general level of prices of goods in the economy, which every time was $100, times the number of goods or services produced. It was 3, right? 3 things were bought with the same bill 3 times. 300 equals 300. Well, if I doubled the money supply to, say, 200, but there was no additional level of economic activity, what would happen? Just imagine a Monopoly game, right? Where somebody takes the money out of 2 other games and dumps it into the game you're playing. And now there's all this extra money. What's going to happen to the property prices in the game? Well, you got more money to spend. If you want a property, you got more money to spend, you're going to raise the price. That's inflation. Too much money means prices go up. But what if economic activity is trying to expand and you need to buy something and you don't have any money? Where do you go? Right? Imagine this example with 20 people playing, waiting to get their hands on that $100 bill. Well, there's not enough money supply for the level of economic activity in that particular simulation. So either the velocity has to speed up or you have to expand the money supply. That equation needs to stay in balance, or you've got inflation problems. So when you grow the economy, you have to actually grow the money supply. And likewise, when it shrinks, you can't just leave the money supply out there indefinitely in large quantities.